Do you want to build a snowman? Oh, wow. Yes, I do want to build a snowman. And I want to build a snowman while it's snowing. And I want to build a snowman with a friend. And I want to make sure I have a carrot for the nose. And I don't know where we get coal from anymore. But we'll have to find something for the eyes and the mouth and the buttons on the coat. And instead of a top hat, because top hats are expensive and they fall off easy. So let's get a knit cap. It'll stick on easier, and if it blows away in the wind, it's only $1.99. Not like an $80 hat. Unless, of course, you get a fake one, which you can get plenty of them right now as we approach Halloween. So let's build a snowman. Let me show you how I painted this picture of these children building a snowman in the snow and having fun. And this was a fun one to paint. I did it with watercolor and with gouache. And it was relatively easy to paint. In the video you're about to see, I'm going to narrate it after the fact because I didn't talk much as I actually painted it. And I'll speed it up a little bit because it took a little while. But you'll still see how I did it, and make your own snowman. Have some fun. Snowmen are fun to build, whether it's in the snow or on a greeting card. And you know what? Somebody's going to get this card, and they're going to love it. And this card is going to the church because they're having an art auction at the end of November. And I found the date. It's November 23rd. That's the date. So they're having an art auction November 23rd here in Ocala at the St. John Lutheran Church. It's also a school. And this will be one of the cards. I'm donating about 200 cards, I think. I don't know, I haven't counted them all, but I've been doing cards pretty much all year long and have given not most of them, but I've given a lot of them away. And then I decided at one point to donate them to somebody. I didn't know who. And then one day in the church, the pastor was talking about having an art show, an art auction, not a show, an art auction to raise money for people that have a need. I don't know. I don't know the details. That's their job. My job is to make art. And so I walked up to the pastor at one point and I said to him, not when he was doing the sermon, of course, but I'm talking about later on, he was doing something. And I went to him and I said, hey, I heard you mention about the art auction. And I told him I painted cards. And he knew that I painted cards because he's seen, well, what do you think? He's seen Poppa paints. I had no idea. I really don't know who watches this, except for some of you who've communicated with me. But anyway, so he knew that I painted cards. And then I told him that I would donate all of them, and he got wide-eyed. I said, yeah, I'll give you all of them, whatever I have. And you guys can raise money because that's what you're good at. You're good at taking donations and finding people in the community who really, 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 really need help. So it's the least I can do. Because you know what? When it's snowy like that, I'm in Florida. And it doesn't ever get snowy like that. I kind of wish it would, but it doesn't. Maybe I shouldn't wish. Don't be careful what you wish for, right? All right, let me show you how I painted this. It'll be a little speeded up, and I'll narrate it, okay? Here we go. All right. Well, yes, I speeded it up because I wasn't talking a whole lot, and there was some construction going on somewhere outside, and it was pretty loud. It was a garbage truck also. So in addition to whatever they're doing across the street, and then the garbage truck, and it was kind of hard to talk and be heard. But anyway, so I speeded it up just to make it a little quicker, and it took about an hour to do this card. And I started off with, as you can see, sketching what I wanted to do with a pencil. I had a reference photo for a snowman, a reference photo of a snowman, and I had two other reference photos of children. They were playing with something, I'd guess. I don't know. They weren't building a snowman. And then I had some reference photos of clothing that children might wear. So I kind of had 4 or 5 different reference photos that I was looking at to create this one idea, this one composition. And that's kind of how I work a lot. Now, this is obviously just something I did for fun. It's not an assigned piece. But when I get an assigned piece, like for a children's book, I often will look for reference photos that I piece together either in my mind or on my iPad. I'll take, for example, in this case, I took one of the children and I took the face from the child and I moved it over to the iPad. And then I put the knit hat, and this is all just really like rough sketching, of course, on the iPad. And so, in essence, I took this whole idea and I did it twice. Once on the iPad, but it was very, very sketchy, very rough, very loose. And then I had that to work from to create the card, just so you know. So, and it's not that different than what we would have done before there was anything called an iPad. We would simply take a sketchbook and rough draft a lot of things. If you look at some of the sketches from like Leonardo da Vinci, and any artist really, there's usually a sketchbook somewhere. One of my favorite current artists is James Gurney, and he does a lot of gouache sketches out in the plein air way. He's out in the open, and he makes these brilliant videos and brilliant artwork. Oh my gosh, he is absolutely one of the best. But I like the idea that he'll refer to his artwork as sketches, and then once the sketches are done in the sketchbook, the little tiny size, like 5x7 or whatever they are, he will then take them and make larger paintings out of them. And that's kind of how I've done it all along. I didn't do it with gouache. I usually did it with charcoal or pencil. But it is kind of a good idea to use paint in your sketching process so that you can experiment a little bit with lights and darks and cools and warms and get the composition the way you want it. So here we are. I'm laying down some of the basic local colors for the picture. For those of you who don't know what local colors are, that simply means like a red shirt would be red, and a blue jacket in this case, or a blue-green jacket would be those colors. And it's local. I'm not sure why it's called local, but those are the colors that change as shadows and sunlight hit them. In the case of watercolor, which this is, I leave blank spaces, as you can see, for the sunlight, for the bright spots, as light cascades across the folds of a jacket, for example, or the contours of a face. You want to make sure that you have some white, and the white usually comes from the card when you're using watercolor. So anyway, I thought I would have some fun with this one. I am creating cards for an art auction on November 23rd. I finally found out the date, by the way. And that'll be at the church here in Ocala that Robin and I and Robin's mom go to. And that's called St. John Lutheran Church and School. So they're having an art auction that day, and artists are donating art, and those donations will help raise money for people who are in need. And I'm not part of that really, except for the fact that I'm donating art. And I don't really know how they find the people who will benefit from the money that's raised. But like I say, that's why they do that. That's their job, which is an outstanding job. I feel like I don't do much in this world because all I do is art. But at least I can donate some of the art to help raise money so that more important things can be done, like buying food for people or clothing for people or housing for people. And we just went through, a hurricane that left some devastating damage in its wake. And I know a lot of those people are in need right now. And it's hard to know what to do. I mean, everybody looks to the government, and our government has money that they can help people with, which is outstanding. But I think sometimes the rest of us have to just pitch in and do whatever we can. If I was a sculptor, no, I'm thinking about Elton John's song. If I was a rich man, I mean really wealthy, I'd probably not be wealthy for long, because I would see so many people who had less than me. And even now, at the lifestyle that I am at and Robin is at, we live in a small apartment. And even now, I know that we are more blessed, or more, not, I don't know if blessed is not fair, but we are better off, how about that, than a lot of people. And so it's just something I think that we all can help out with. And I'm looking forward to this channel reaching 10,000 subscribers, because once that happens, we can connect with some charities. And the charity that we've talked about, Robin and I have talked about, is St. Jude, for cancer research for children and cancer treatments for children. So that's one that's been close to our heart. Robin and I did some music years ago. We went under the name of Robin and the Giant, and we wrote some songs to help, I guess, raise awareness. I don't know how else to say it, but anyway, we got a nice letter, because one of the songs was donating money to St. Jude. And at that time, Danny Thomas was still alive. And, Danny Thomas started the whole St. Jude Hospital thing. Now his daughter, Marlo Thomas, runs it. But Danny Thomas wrote us a letter and thanked us for it, and even referenced the key of the song. So he obviously had musical talent and musical knowledge. And, oh my gosh, I think Robin still has it somewhere in a book. I'm sure she saved it. If it was up to me, it probably would have been gone. I probably would have lost it. But Robin saved it. And so we've always kind of felt a little closeness to the St. Jude mission. And YouTube allows video makers like us to help donate money to charities that we choose. I don't know how it works yet, because you can't do anything until you reach 10,000 subscribers, and I think I'm up to 9,500 now. I'm not sure. And P.S., by the way, thank you to all of you who have subscribed. I really, truly appreciate it, and you all have taught me so much. Hopefully we've just had a nice... what I really want to do with this channel is just to create a community of artists. That's all. So, hey, I have some fun quotes about Snowman. Can I read some of them to you? All right, this one is from the movie The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The character Mr. Tumnus says, quote, "I tell you, it's not a proper winter without a decent snowman." Isn't that good? Olaf from the movie Frozen says, "Some people are worth melting for." Oh, I like that one. And then, let's see, I have another one here. From the Gilmore Girls, "The world changes when it snows." Lorelai Gilmore said that. Lorelai Gilmore. Let's see. Anna from Frozen says, "Do you want to build a snowman?" I like that one. I think that's what I'll call this painting. And then from the movie and the song Winter Wonderland, In the meadow, we can build a snowman and pretend that he's a circus clown. How about that one? That's a good one. And then there's some quotes. I'm getting this from a website, and it says you could use these like in your greeting cards or on your posts on Facebook, etc., on the other social media. Frosty friends forever. Keep calm and build a snowman. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, man. And then some inspirational snowman quotes. To appreciate the beauty of a snowflake, it is necessary to stand out in the cold. That's from Aristotle. When it snows, you have two choices, shovel or make snow angels. When it snows, you have two choices, shovel or make snow angels. That's a good one. From Albert Camus. In the depths of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer. J.B. Priestley said this: the first fall of snow is not only an event, but it is a magical event. Yes, it is. Oh, I know. It's been a long time since I've seen the snow, but I remember. Anna Mika Mishra said this: winter is not a season, it's a celebration. Khalil Gibran said kindness is like snow, it beautifies everything it covers. Wow, that's true. Andy Goldsworthy said snow provokes responses that reach right back to childhood. Oh my goodness, this whole card took me back to childhood as I was painting it. A snow day is a chance to live in the moment. That one doesn't have a credit, doesn't say who said that. Victor Hugo said, laughter is the sun that drives winter from the human face. Here's some funny ones. A snowman's life is pretty short, but they sure do have a blast. Oh, I like that one, yeah. What do snowmen eat for breakfast? Frosted Flakes. Oh my goodness, that's a dad joke. When life gives you too much snow, make snowmen. Yeah, that's a good one. Snowflakes are like family, beautiful and different. Oh, I like that. Friends are like snowflakes. None of them are the same, but each one is beautiful. How about this one? In winter, the warmth of family and friends can melt even the coldest heart. Yeah. I like that. Snowball fights are just one way to say I love you in the language of winter. Oh, I like those. Those are nice. So, let's see. I took my eyes off of the video as it played, and now you can see I'm up to the point where it's almost looking done. I used some gouache to help remedy some of the problems that I saw. I was actually thinking about doing this whole painting with gouache before I even started, but then I thought, no, let me try it with watercolor. And the interesting thing about white snow is that you kind of have to use either a light blue or a light purple to create a nice looking snow. I chose blue in this case. So I have two kids building a snowman. And so I was using gouache that's what I'm doing right now. I'm putting gouache on the back of the card. I use the back of the card as my palette. All right, let's lighten up some of these areas on the face. Just make it a better face. Yeah, you can use gouache almost like acrylic, but of course gouache also reactivates or activates, just like watercolor. So it's kind of fun. You could use gouache also like acrylic in that you don't have to necessarily have the paper flat on a table or slightly angled. You can actually have it up on an easel, which is probably why I'm leaning toward taking gouache with me when I go to Gatlinburg in about a week and a half now. Yeah, just maybe 10 days from now. Hopefully we'll be going. I say hopefully because I make sure everybody's healthy. We're not going to go if anybody's not healthy. None of us are young. That's the part of life you have to deal with when you get older, I guess, is that you know in your heart that you can plan to do something, but if the health isn't as good as it could be, then sometimes you change your mind about doing things. Today's Friday, by the way, and it's the first Friday of October, and on the first Friday, Robin and I go downtown Ocala, and she brings her mandolin, and I bring my accordion, and we play old world songs. We don't sing, we just play the music, and it's fun. It's not a show. It's just like as people are passing by, they're walking through the town and they're getting an ice cream cone or getting a bite to eat someplace, and then they hear the music and they just keep moving on. I say to Robin all the time, we could probably play like 2 or 3 songs and just keep repeating them all night long and nobody would know the difference. But we don't do it that way. We have about, I would say, 2.5 hours of music if we play it straight through. And the event is usually 3 hours long, but I get so worn out by 2.5 hours. I'm usually ready to leave. We start at 6, so by 8:30 I'm ready to go home. And what I like about that kind of a thing, we do it as a volunteer. And what I like about it is afterwards we always stop and get like a coffee or hot chocolate. Robin likes the hot chocolate. Once in a while we get a burger, but most of the times it's just a drink. So we'll do that tonight. Tonight's they do it from September through May, and then June, July, and August they don't do it. So, and our town was not hurt that badly from Hurricane Helene, so we did pretty good. But some of our neighboring towns, oh my gosh, some of them are torn up. But that damage, the destruction that happened up in North Carolina, oh my gosh, those folks really, really, really need some help. So hopefully the church, when they raise money from the cards and from the other art, from other artists, hopefully some of that money will go to help people who are still without a house and maybe needing help from Hurricane Helene. I know it's going to take a long time to rebuild Cedar Key and to rebuild Chimney Rock, and what's this? Another town here in Florida, Steinhatchee. Some of the areas up in the Panhandle. Perry, Florida, was damaged badly. Keaton Beach was hurt. All right, well, the video's almost over, so I'll wrap up the narration also. You see I put some white dots. I used white gouache for that, and the white dots, of course, represent the snow. And what I do was I use the back of the card as my palette, and then when I'm all done, I smear it around, dry it off. That's me drying it off with the dryer, with the hot air blower. And then I fold it, and it becomes a card, and it goes into the pile of cards that will be brought over to the church in, let's see, today's October 4th. So maybe in about 5 or 6 weeks, we'll bring the cards over there, and we'll let them decide how to curate them. And then the cards will be sold to raise money. There's a little mistake right there. There I go. I fixed it. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.